Welcome to the Resellers Podcast with Tech and Sports and Daily Refinement. We've helped thousands of people save time and make more money by improving their online stores. Check out patreon.com/the Resellers Podcast for thousands of hours of full-length ad-free podcasts and coaching calls. Join our Facebook group with thousands of sellers making the transition from hobby to business. See you in the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Resellers Podcast with Tech and Sports and Daily Refinement. Today, I am ready to go a little bit hard on everyone, and the topic is going to be eBay is not for everyone. And I'm an encouraging guy. I want the best for people, but I want people right now, it is okay to stop doing eBay and do something else because, we just started this new mentorship, and something I learned from you is that eBay is one process all the way through. You cannot pick and choose things from the whole process to not do, or because you don't feel like it, because it affects the customer experience. And then eBay will stop giving you traffic. Any of the things that we talk about on this podcast, if you decide you don't want to do one or you want to opt out, eBay is not for you. You will not ever taste eBay's success. You have to do all of it. And that's okay. I just want people to realize you're talking about specifically how to get maximum results. And I want people to really think about that, because don't expect maximum results with minimal effort.
Or anything less than maximum effort. So that's what I was going to ask you when you made the introduction right there, is like, we have to define success. A lot of people's success is different from maximum success. I'm looking for maximum success. So in that instance, I have to do everything as perfectly as possible where it comes to pricing, ordering the correct inventory, listing items every single day, hitting the listing goal, being consistent. We ship out twice a day now. I have to hit all of those check boxes in order to find maximum results. So like you said, you have to do all of these things to, achieve some sort of success. The obvious one is people have a hard time being consistent with the daily listing. So that's the first thing that people opt out in. So in your experience, what would be like the second thing that people don't commit to or kind of skip over when it comes to, running a successful eBay business?
I think people forget what they are asking. You are asking eBay, some random company in California, to make it so you don't have to work for anybody else. You're making a huge ask, okay? But then you don't return the huge favor that they want, which is, please give us the listings every day in the same way so we can find your customers. That's our job. But you do something different every day. We can't switch up everything every day for you. You just give us the exact same traffic every day and we'll do our job. But your people are making a tremendous ask. They're saying, okay, support me, some random company. We work for eBay. Don't like get it wrong. They don't work for us. They have all the customers. Anybody that's run any kind of business and had to find their own customers will think eBay is a breeze. It's so hard to knock on doors and say, give me money for some random service or product. In this scenario, you're making a huge ask. You want to quit your job. You want to replace your income. You want to retire early. You want to make millions of dollars on eBay. Okay, return that favor and they will deliver. It's a very odd platform that even exists. And when you sign up to do pension, that came up on the jewelry call. Two people brought up that they have 10 years left in their 30-year dedication to get this pension. But they don't even give 3 months to eBay. People will say, I was consistent for 2 months and then I fell off and then my sales fell off. But a normal job is asking for 30 years of commitment. 2 or 3 months is not. You can't ask for a lifetime of support in return for that kind of effort.
Yeah, and you'd probably be hard pressed to still find that 30-year commitment with that, that golden goose nest egg at the end of the line as well, because a lot of companies are doing away with the pensions and all those extra things that they used to offer. So, as you said, a lot of people do ask. It probably comes up every single Tuesday call. How can you remain so committed? How can you be so consistent? The alternative is going to get a job. Like, the alternative is going to dig holes. The alternative is working a job that a lot of us has opted out to do in order to sell on eBay full time and have that pay our bills and support us. So, if you put in the effort on the front end, eBay will reward you on the back end, but it's effort on all fronts. It's photos every day, it's listing every day, it's being accountable to the algorithm every single day, because for whatever reason, eBay wants you to list on a daily basis. eBay wants you to be active on your account on a daily basis. The data has shown when you're not, committed to being consistent, that they will, start holding things back, because obviously it is in their best interest to funnel sales or funnel offers to sellers that are awake and on the platform, rather than funnel offers to people who have maybe not even been online for this entire week. So, there is a lot of nuances to selling on eBay, but if you do all the things that we talk about inside of the group, and I preach maximum results. And if you just do, 50% of the maximum result, you're still going to be okay. But 50% of the maximum is still getting the work done every single day. It's not working every other day or every 3 days or once a week. You still have to do it every single day. And a lot of people find trouble when they transition from a 9 to 5 to selling on eBay, is they don't put in the same 9 to 5 effort and the same 9 to 5 hours. And, maybe this is a great call due to the timing of everything that is going on with, us possibly already being in a recession or a recession approaching. A lot of people may get laid off. A lot of people may lose their jobs and may turn to something like selling on eBay. And if you do treat eBay as a 9 to 5 job and put in the same amount of effort and hours, you will reap the benefits of that. But if you transition from a 9 to 5 job to, I don't know, not putting up your listings, not putting up enough, people want to make $200 a day, but list $76 worth of stuff.
That's right.
It's never going to happen like that. Like, if you want to make $200 a day, you at least have to list $200 a day worth of profit. So, if you do put in the time and you do put in the effort, we've seen it time and time again into the group that eBay does reward you for that. And that's very helpful to us, because we have the proof of people who, remain consistent on their listing, do the best practices that we talk about, and then they reap the benefits of those things. So, eBay has never let me down, has never led me wrong. If I remain consistent and I remain, disciplined to the best interest of the customer, getting items out on time, good customer service, handling any issues, eBay has always, always, always provided for me.
So I want to clear this up for everyone. Maximum does not mean big. There's plenty of people in the group with a 200 item store that I would say are very successful on eBay, because maximum effort, if you just look at the listing, it will tell you the success to eBay is best title, best subtitle if necessary. If the item needs a subtitle to sell, you have to maximize it. Photos, condition description, the custom SKU is designed to help you organize your business. Some people have 10 different items in there. Some people don't need it. Item specifics, item description, condition description, pricing, returns, shipping, all of that is maximum eBay. So if you want the full result, you have to do all of those things. If you do it once perfectly, then you've succeeded, because that item gets to the customer, they're happy. Ideally, they leave a positive feedback, but that's not necessary. But if they don't charge back their credit card in the next 6 months, you've done your job. Customer has effectively used eBay to connect themselves with the product that you have. So I'm just really wanting people to slow down and think about delivering all of the things that people need to be happy with the transaction. Because that's, if you focus on that, you'll never run out of cash flow. It's when people say, well, sales are slow, I'll list another 50 items. You've forgotten the point. Sales are slow because you have failed to do what eBay has asked of you to deliver the customer. And that's the reason. Something happened.
Yeah, you failed to do something. So there are sales cycles. There are going to be times where sales are better than other times of the year, but there should be no time where you're throwing up a goose egg and there's like no sales, or sales absolutely totally are no good. And if that is the case, then you have failed to do something, whether it's seek the knowledge to find items that have a fast turnover, seek the knowledge to find brands that can give you good margins, $5 into 30, which I think is a beautiful place to be. Seek the knowledge to make titles structured how eBay wants us to make them. Your item specifics, work on your price points, do all the tools that eBay has for us, coupons, newsletters, buyer groups, all of those things. If you are absolutely in a total slump, you have failed in one aspect of that. eBay does not punish anybody, that is not active on the website or that is not actively trying to give the customer the best experience and actively posting items that are desirable and priced at market or below market. eBay does not have it out for anybody who lists a CC Filson under market, good quality title, good quality photos. They just don't go, no thanks, we're not going to give that guy the sale. That doesn't happen. So most times when people do have trouble with the sales, it's usually one or two things. It's the price is too high, it's above market, or number two is it's structured so poorly that it's impossible to find in the search.
So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because when you look at eBay at first, it is 100% overwhelming. There's like 20 different things that you're supposed to do in order for the customer to get it perfectly. Now, what you have done, and the thing that a couple of things really transformed my business, and I always talk about these, getting away from white background, added hours to my day. And then when I combined photography and listing into the same process and putting it away, I never had any undone piles. I mentioned it this morning as well. No photographed, but not listed. No listed, but not put away. And you have to do the whole thing. You can't just list it and not put it away. You can't just list it, put it away, and then you can't find it. That's you missing it on the back end. That whole piece of it, you do eBay as one thing. I do eBay.
Yeah.
People who separate it into sometimes I'm sourcing, sometimes I'm shipping, sometimes I'm photographing. If you separate it all out, then what you're kind of giving yourself credit for doing 80% of it. But really, you need to do the entire thing to complete the circle. And that counts as eBay. And that kind of mentality, I think maybe this is why people can't grasp the schedule, because the way that your wife does it right now, eBay all in one session. If you can do eBay all in one session, you can plug it into any part of your day, before or after work. You can extend it, and being clear on all one thing. Reselling is all one thing. That is the hard part. And if you are okay with that, and you're not like picking and choosing what you like and don't like about eBay, and you just do the whole, you either like it or you either do it or you don't, and you switch it to that binary thinking, I think it really helps. Because looking at people's setups, you see people always say, I love my shipping station. It's exactly perfect, right? And people have that routine to go to the post office at the same time of day. Just dedicate yourself to doing that with the whole thing, and now you can have all the success that you want. But everyone in their business has one part of it that they like. You just got to, otherwise you wouldn't resell every single part you hated. There's one part at least that you like. You just got to automate it all into the same thing. That's the hard part.
So there's a lot in there. So the concept of one thing. So my wife, she lists 15 items a day. It takes her 45 minutes to take photos, to list, and to pack all of her solds. She runs a 15 item a day store in 45 minutes per day because it's one continuous thing. Yep. There's no breaks, there's no interruptions. And she also does it the same exact way that I do it. There is no deviation from that. So for the listers and photographers that I have, it's such a continuous one thing that if they finish listing at 2:12, they're on pictures again at 2:13 until 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, they leave. They each had 44 pictures done. We come in tomorrow morning. We start on picture number 45. We get to listing. When listing is done, we're back on photos. It's constantly a circle over and over and over again. Pictures, listing, pictures, listing. For shipping, it's the same thing. When we are done printing, we press refresh and then we go pick again. When that guy leaves at 3, another guy comes right after that, and he continues picking and he starts printing. Like it is continuous. It never ever stops. And the next portion of that is, you said that, people really like their shipping station, but don't enjoy their photo station. I think that is a huge part of it, because they might be fast at shipping because they have like the best shipping setup, but they don't have the best photo setup, or they have the best photo setup and they get tripped up in inventory. So for me and my business, I want to have the best setup for everything. We hang stuff on racks, and you've just experienced, how truly fast the put away and the picking is from racks. Now, racks isn't for everybody because you gain time on the pick and put away, but you lose square footage. So doing the bin method, it's slower to pick your items, slower to put them away, but you can fit many more items in the same amount of square feet. So my philosophy with the racks is that I can always buy more square feet. I can't buy more time. So I want to be as fast as possible, and I want to be as perfect as possible. So on the racks, you can see everything clearly. It's not folded up. It's not in a bag. It's not in a bin. It's not in the dark. I can always buy more square feet. I cannot buy more time. So to me, that's the best storage situation for me and my business. For photography, very simple, very straightforward, a lot of natural light, non-white background. That's the best thing for me. Shipping, everything is within arm's reach. We don't have to take any steps. There's no wasted movements. That's the best situation for me. So I have the best setups across the board that work for me and my business. And that allows us to do everything in one motion with minimum hiccups, with no surprises, with no frustration. And until you get to that point, a lot of people have a bad storage situation, but they got photos under control. They have, a difficult time shipping, but, they have, their storage situation under control. So, it's a lot to do. As you said, there's probably, 20 different things. We haven't even touched on bookkeeping. We haven't even touched on merchandising, research, customer service, but you have to get to the point where you are satisfied that you have the best setup for each portion of this business, and then work on the next one. You can't fix all 20 portions of the business at the same time. You have to work on one, fine tune it, move to the next one, be happy, be content, be confident, and don't get shaken on the next bright idea, the next shiny thing. And that's a lot of people's downfall as well. They get shaken on the next bright idea, the next great idea. Like you guys have a great idea with the inverted flat lay. If I introduced that here, everyone would be thrown for a loop. I would have to change the entire system. We would have to change everything. They would have to switch from doing this to doing this. And it would set me back weeks, if not months, by changing that. So just because it's a good idea doesn't mean you have to do it. I've heard 10,000 good ideas in the group. I've implemented 0. Because what I have, I'm confident in that it works for me. If you find something that works for you, just do that. Don't do something else. A lot of people do that. This works, but let me just try something else. If it works, it works. Stick with it. Keep at it. And then after everything works and everything is fine-tuned and you have a system that works for you, then you do like Chris did. You start eliminating stuff. You eliminate white background. You eliminate all these things. And once you eliminate a white background, you had 3 more hours a day. So what did you do with those extra 3 hours per day? You listed more items. So you're able to list more items in the same amount of time, which is going to result in what? Making more money. And if you spend all day listing 8 items, there's somebody out there that spends all day listing 800 items. And the person that lists 800 desirable items, because everything is set up and streamlined, is going to make 100 times more money than the person who lists 8 items a day and can't get everything together.
This is exactly right. So we have to pick on Landon a little bit, because he was saying that the best part that he got out of this group was embracing the boring. Well, here's this thing. This is the thing that's interesting. I don't think it's boring to make a lot of money in a short period of time with no headaches. What is actually the root of a lot of problems in the group is inactivity. So Landon has all day to hit his 10 listing goal. And when you have all day, some weird thoughts start to creep into your brain. I'm going to relate it to driving. Most accidents happen in the slow lane. The accidents that happen in the fast lane, they are catastrophic. Like for you, making a change can disrupt thousands of things. But in order to, like, if you're in stop and go traffic, that's when people whip out their phone. That's when people, the shiny object syndrome will cause an accident. But people in the fast lane, it takes 100% of their focus just to not fly off the road and get killed. So you're 100% focused in the fast lane, and it's more boring sitting in traffic. I'm telling you, getting your listings done in an hour. There's nothing boring about being done in an hour. We've made the schedule for everybody. Having your whole eBay business done in 1 or 2 hours is absolutely not boring.
No, absolutely not. And, we're still in the YouTube portion. I've never done this before, but, everyone in the comments, like, what are you unhappy with in your business and what can you do to change that? And then after you type that, why haven't you done that? So, like, I'm not happy with my photo section because X, Y, and Z. What can you do to change that? Well, I could do this. Well, let's get started on it. Let's change it. And let's get something that we're happy with, get something that we're confident with, and then get something that we could be consistent with and take photos every single day on the same exact setup. But all the bright ideas, all the trying to change stuff, all the thinking, if you have all day, it's going to take all day. It even happens to me. If I don't have nothing to do, a small thing that should take an hour, I could stretch out all day too. So, like, it happens to everybody. If you have all day to do eBay, it will take all day for you to do eBay.
If you have all day to do one thing, sometimes you don't even do the one thing because it's 23 hours of the day you don't have to do the one thing. And in the 1 hour that you're supposed to do the one thing, if you miss that 1 hour, then you actually screwed up. The people who, like, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. Like, we can fit in this podcast. You're the busiest person in the entire group. You've got the most people's mouths to feed, the most complicated businesses, the most customers, but you still have time. So I think it's creating that margin. Margin is the fun part of life. You have time to create another. You can create margin to start a new business, to hang out with your friends, to go to a barbecue. In order to create margin, you have to get done earlier, and it's not boring. You have to disassociate those two things, because not having any money, that sucks. Not being able to spend time with your family, you have to go to this because you need the money. That's the worst possible thing. The solution is getting your stuff done years in advance, having 100 years of savings so you could just stop working now. That's a huge ask. So few people are willing to do the effort required for your ask. You're asking, you want to live life on your exact terms whenever you want? Why can't you give 150% effort if that's what you want?
So when you look at eBay, the number one gripe for most people is that eBay takes too much time. Because now you have apps like Whatnot where you literally hold the item up in front of the screen, sells in 30 seconds, you get paid immediately. Mm-hmm. But in order to do that, it takes 2 hours of prep. You still have to go sourcing. Mm-hmm. You have to literally spend second for second, minute to minute in front of the camera selling your goods. And then you have to spend a couple hours packing. Yep. That's still... And how many items can you run in an hour? Because you could do a 30-second timer, but you're going to spend 15 seconds talking to the chat. You're going to spend another 10 seconds prepping the next item for sale. Realistically, if you're rocking and rolling, it's 1 item per minute. So if you take 6 or 7 hours, once you do all the prep, you actually do the live, and then you print everything, it's taking you 8-9 hours to do 60 items. But you could do 60 items if you actually follow the things that we talk about. You could do 60 items in 2 or 3 hours.
Yep.
And get all the money. Because Whatnot ain't all the money. No. That instant sale ain't all the money. So like you're saying, and like the topic is, eBay is not for everybody, but there are other areas inside of this where you can get in and you can make money. So if you have trouble listing, if you have trouble being consistent, and a lot of people lead with this, I'm a great buyer. Yep. Be a buyer. Be a buyer, make $3 per item, Find some bozo like me and sell them 500 pieces a week, and you have $1,500 in your pocket and you're up the road. Mm-hmm. No listing, no photography, no storage, no customer service, no nothing. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different places where you can fit in this business and still make money. So eBay may not be for everybody, but you can be in the funnel for everybody. The people that sort for me, or that source for me, eBay ain't for them, but they're still making a boatload of cash. So in the end of the day, eBay is for them by way of me selling to me.
I know. I was thinking this year I'm on track to spend like $1 million on shipping. So when you look at, $1 million in postal fees, when you look at all the different jobs that are created from reselling, you do not need to do, you can just choose one part of it. Cheryl in the group started as a photographer lister for someone. There's so many different jobs related to reselling is all the jobs. Like how many trucks on the road are delivering goods to someone, or to either to the seller or to the buyer? That's like 90% of everything on the road. You're going to work for someone that's exchanging products or services. We all do the exact same thing. So you can find what you can do only what you like in the business if you choose to do that. And there's just a lot to everything. When you see somebody's final product, that might have been hundreds or thousands of hours of background to get to that point where they're able to do that. And that's, when, they say, like recognize like, or whatever, you recognize the same kind. When somebody who's doing well sees somebody else doing well, they already know the work behind it. It's a lot. Like for you say that sometimes you wonder what it would have been like to sell something like cards, where maybe you can list 100 items a minute, but you're not naive to you're not like Card Guy takes years maybe of experience to go do that. It's not like there's a learning curve to everything, and people put the work in, and you can recognize that right away.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that is like recognizes like, real recognizes real. A lot of people don't understand the amount of work and the amount of perfection, everything having to go exactly correct to do eBay at a high level. It's extremely difficult to spin all these plates and juggle all these things at a very high level on eBay. And even at a mid-level, or it's very, very difficult to juggle all the balls to do eBay on a consistent basis. And a lot of people don't understand that when they're first beginning.
Yeah. And I'm saying doing well on eBay is not for everyone. Anybody can do eBay, but if you want to do well, you have to do all the things and make it into one thing. And that's like, for people don't separate, like with your kids, you've got to do all of it. You can't just say, well, you know what, I'm not going to, I like all the parts of raising a kid, but I don't like the feeding part, so I'm not going to feed my kid. Or, you know what, I'm not going to provide a bed because I don't want to do that. Like you just got to do all of it. And if you don't do all of it, there's like a price to pay. Like a slower traffic, that's like, it's not a personal vendetta. eBay is like a mirror. It's very interesting because the fact that it is automated means that you could put in all the inputs and it have a predictable output.
So is this an eBay thing, or is Poshmark the same difficulty? Because even for my whatnot, it's difficult. I have to make sure I have enough product for us to run 7 days a week, 7 hours a day. There's a lot of back end work that goes into just sitting in front of a camera and putting a piece of clothing on a nail in the wall. There's, having all the equipment up and running. There's having everything prepped, everything sorted, everything printed, everything dropped off on time. Interaction. There's a lot that goes into it, the social media aspect. So like even just doing that at a high level, there is a lot of things that you have to do. Because if I don't have enough good inventory, my stream sucks. No one is sitting there, and I'm throwing my guy out to dry. He's sitting there trying to hawk some stuff that nobody wants. How long do we do that for? Or if I don't have enough for them to do, now I have one guy whose job is to run items and I don't have enough. And I have another guy whose job is to print items. I don't have nothing for him to print. So I have to make sure I have enough quality items, enough sellable items where that can actually be a thing. Same thing for eBay. eBay is another level of complexity because you have the photos, you have the shipping, you have the storage, you have everything that we all know about. So like, we all know to run an eBay business at a consistent level is difficult. Even to run Whatnot at a consistent level is difficult. You're doing it now. It's difficult because the supply is the key. And now you're managing 2 or 4 other people. That has its own difficulty. And now you're selling hundreds of items per day. You have to pick and pack that with 100% accuracy. Otherwise, you upset a customer. And that presents its own difficulties. So like, Whatnot at a high level is difficult. eBay at a high level is difficult. Poshmark has to be. It's not just an eBay thing. This is like a entrepreneur want to work for yourself. You have to be able to do all of these things and perform at a certain level in order for this to be worthwhile or in order for you to make a profit long term.
Okay, I got something for everyone. Because if you're listening to this right now and you think it's a downer, let me tell you what happens if you do all the things. You can do whatever you want. You can drive any car you want. You can live anywhere you want. You can control your entire schedule. You get all of that if you put in all the work in anything that you do because it gives you all the rewards. Travis had mentioned maybe 1% of the sellers get 90% of the sales. That doesn't surprise me. Yesterday, when I was looking at the car auto part industry in the tail light, $500,000 worth of Chevy Silverado tail lights sell every single month. Like 70% of it is one seller. That person gets 70% of the sales. So the reward for doing everything is most of the money. So most of the time you can enjoy, all these fancy stores, all these fancy cars, somebody's buying them, somebody's going on these lavish vacations, but it's really like the same people enjoying all of it and everybody else is struggling. So when you give all of the effort and you get all of the reward, it's very different. You can get everything, but you've got to give everything. And that's just the trade-off, unless you were born rich. And Michelle posted that meme saying, she wished she could do whatever, but she was born cute, not rich. So if you want all the money, you can do all the work. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. This is one of the countries where they reward you for doing that. In America, you can work a lot and get a lot, and it's somewhat okay. Like it's part of the journey. If you work a little, you get less than a little, though. You get almost nothing.
But also all of the work, all of the time, you get hated on for that as well.
Yes, sure.
All the sales, all the time, you get hated on that as well. Like there's no support when you're all the work, all the time, all the sales, all the time. Nobody wants to see that.
I know. The no off button definitely gets hated on too. So I guess you're going to get hate no matter what. So might as well get most of the money.
Everyone who's listening to this, in my opinion, is a go-getter. Like they're out there actively doing the work. So like, it's okay to like go out and go get it. Like if you're all the work all the time, that's okay. But like a lot of people will tell you that's not okay. Like, oh, you need to have this, or you need to do that, or you need to do this. A lot of people telling you that don't have nothing. Like I've never met a self-made anybody who told me, oh, you're doing too much. Never have met that person.
I remember having no money. This is better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how else this is way better than working a lot is way better than no money. I remember it's horrible. I remember thinking if I go, I might not have enough money to buy this to eat. This is nothing compared to that. I remember going out for ice cream and being like, I only have ice cream for one person. I can't afford two. Like I can't, I went out with my friend. I bought her an ice cream, no ice cream for me. That is not harder than this.
Nope. I remember when I worked at CVS, for the whole week, I had to make a decision if I was going to have chips or a drink for the day during my shift. I only had enough money for chips or a drink. I couldn't have both. And now that I work all the time and make all the sales, I don't even buy chips or a drink. I just make all the money and have all the sales and reinvest that into other things that are going to help me out later in life. And then at that point, you tell everybody I'm out, I'm going to take this 50-year vacation. And all those people who sat around and told you that, you're doing too much or you're working too much or you're doing this or doing that, they still have 30 or 40 years before they can retire. And maybe Social Security won't even be there for them. Probably don't have a pension. They're going to have a horrible existence after retirement. And I'll catch them on the flip side after the 50-year vacation.
Thank you for listening to the Resars Podcast with Tech and Sports and Daily Refinement. If you'd like to listen to the full episode, please check us out at patreon.com/the Resars Podcast for all information, all our full-length episodes, over thousands of hours of coaching, and our Facebook mentorship group, which is $35 per month, just about $1 a day to help you get to the next level. We appreciate you guys. See you next time.